Aloha, everyone. It is 5:30 p.m. on September 27th, 2017, and we're coming to you from Maui and Oahu for the 91st Google Rocks Hawaii Hangout, a now monthly venue for Hawaii educators to share. And so today we'll be learning about iTEACH808, which is a very successful educational technology conference that is sponsored by Sacred Hearts Academy on Oahu and the Augustine Educational Foundation. And we have with us today Principal Betty White and Library Media Specialist Laurel Oshiro to talk about iTEACH808. So I told Laurel that she would have the floor, so go for it, Laurel.
Okay. Well, yeah. iTEACH808, Empowering Hawaii's Teachers in Technology, started with a grant in 2012 with the Augustine Educational Foundation. And it was inspired by the Schools of the Future grant that our school received for 5 years. Would you like to talk a little bit about that, how the early beginnings of iTEACH808?
Well, we might have some participants who, if they are from Oahu, they might remember when there was an Augustine school, Augustine Catholic school in Waikiki next to the Augustine Church. They sold the school, the diocese sold the school, and they set aside $1 million for scholarships for children attending Catholic schools. So that was about 20 years ago, and we like it besides the scholarships for our students. We also like it because they give professional development, monies for professional development. So I think that about each of Laurel's iTEACH808s has also been sponsored by the Augustine Foundation. And there's two ladies, Tanya and Sue, and they love Laurel. So that's why they know that she has a good plan going.
It's been one of Augustine Educational Foundation's most successful professional developments that they sponsor. Because we open it up to all schools. The goal is not for our school to only benefit, but for us to build a community of learners with other schools. So it's open completely free to schools all over Hawaii. And we have administrators, educators, teachers from all walks of life, from preschool to college, that come to these iTEACH808s, and the impact has been huge. With this past one in September 9th was our 9th one, and it's been going on since 2013. The grant was written in 2012 and then continued to this day. So we hope to continue to keep it going, but we cap it. We purposely cap it at 120. We've gotten numerous requests to make it big and have it at the Blaisdell, grow it to about 400 people. And it is very possible. We always have a huge waiting list, but the whole purpose is to create that one-on-one interaction and those hands-on workshops for people. We feel that if it goes beyond 120, it starts to become more of a lecture style and less tangible takeaways. So we try to really make it meaningful for the participants that are there. And this past iTEACH808, we had about 100 teachers from 42 different schools in the state of Hawaii. And so they're able to go back and share what they learned with their schools as well.
It's one of the few opportunities that public, private, even some homeschool teachers and charter schools get together in such a cooperative manner to further the integration of technology into the curriculum. When I think of iTEACH808, I think of Saturday mornings in the fall, before everybody is tired and exhausted from the rigors of a school year. We still have lots of energy. We come on campus and Laurel always has surprises. Each iTEACH 808 has been very different. For instance, maybe been a couple of years ago, she used a conference call from Harvard, in which, was it Boston? But it was in Boston, right?
Yes.
And he's at Harvard, I believe.
Yeah.
And this would be all in November, and it was just so beautiful. The technology was great that day, and we felt like he was right there in the auditorium with us. And then contrast that to this past iTEACH 808, and Laurel picked our neighbor, who is not more than 3 minutes from our campus, a fellow by the name of Mike Fricano, and he was just delightful. He had the auditorium engaged from the very beginning, and I felt so naive, perhaps, because he used the magic of reading the magic school bus that I read to my children, but I never related it to the virtual readers of today.
Yes.
He was absolutely marvelous.
Yes. Yes. He talked about transporting your students to places beyond the four walls of the classroom and engaging them in deeper learning using virtual reality. And then, I think being able to bring in speakers that people normally wouldn't have a chance to experience, such as Alan November, who's all the way in Boston. And we also had Stacy Burdan. She talks about raising global citizens and how can we prepare our students to be global citizens. And so what are the skills that they will need to thrive in a global society? And that was another very eye-opening keynote as well.
I thought not keynote, but I believe this past conference, she had something like 14 breakout groups, and each one is just outstanding. And this past time, I really like Debbie Milliken. Is that how you say her name?
From Iolani.
She's a sustainability specialist. Would that be right, Laurel? Yeah. And just a wide diversity of offerings that come to the teachers on that day.
Yes, we have presenters from all over the island. And I think that's what makes it so enriching, is that we have the best of the best coming to teach these workshops and share their knowledge. And we need to have you, Linda, to be a presenter on these days. Come to Oahu. But
I have to attend.
Yeah, yes. So that's been our goal. I think with the archives, we archive all of the handouts and slideshow presentations. We've got some requests from neighbor islands, so that's how we've been trying to reach out to the neighbor islands as well, is to archive everything and share that knowledge with not just our school or just the attendees, but with anybody who is thirsty for knowledge in our state or around the world.
I think just the archived section is absolutely mind-boggling to teachers. To have, what would it be, about 9 years of all the materials that are coming from these workshops.
9 conferences over 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because at one time you were having 2 a year.
Yes. We did 2 a year as well, one in the fall and one in the spring as a follow-up. But we're doing just one big one a year, and it's been really successful. We try to have it at the beginning of the year to help give the teachers that building blocks so they can test it out and practice and learn throughout the year. So, yeah.
And Linda, I guess at Seabury Hall you also have some of these young, go-getter, ambitious, talented teachers.
We do.
And Laurel is just a dream.
Oh, I know about Laurel.
She is, and she's such low maintenance. I know that the conference is coming, every once in a while she'll ask a question, and she puts it together, and it's just a work of art. And to get 100 teachers out on a Saturday morning after a hard week of teaching is that speaks for itself as to how much teachers appreciate it.
It's wonderful, yeah. But go ahead, Linda, I'm sorry.
Well, the reputation of iTEACH808 has, you know, we know a lot about it, and I definitely want to get there for sure. Yes, and I am very familiar with Laurel's enthusiasm, boundless enthusiasm. So, so she does pretty much everything, right?
Oh, she does. She can. She's a good she's an outstanding librarian. She helps with the technology, especially in the lower school, and then she advises in the high school, and she does all sorts of exciting things on the side. She's leaving in about a week to go to Iceland to explore, right?
Explore the world, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ways to learn, to travel. But yeah, I think the iTEACH808 wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Betty White. And so I think her vision for keeping our school constantly learning is what helped us to pursue iTEACH808. And so I'm very grateful to have a cutting edge administrator who is open to seeing growth and not afraid of change in a positive way, and also collaborating with other schools. I think when we collaborate, we make our community stronger. So that's always been the goal, is collaboration.
Another thing I like about the conference is that there's a local aspect to it. For instance, the last conference, the keynoter was from right down the road. And then at times it takes on a very global perspective. And I think that's very important. I think it's, I don't know about you, Linda, but I think it's important for teachers to know what's in the neighborhood. They need to know what's happening in other schools. And it enriches their own teaching.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that I agree with Laurel about administration being the key, really, and it doesn't really happen unless you have an administrator like Betty who has a vision and lets you run with it, it sounds like, Laurel.
I like your term, that you can have the vision, but you have to have the people who have the energy and the enthusiasm to move it forward. And our teachers are just so talented these days, I think. Beautiful, beautiful teachers.
How many are at Sacred Hearts Academy, and how many teachers? How many students and how many teachers?
We have about 900 students, starting with junior kindergarten to 12. And then we would have about 65 teachers. And as far as our technology goes, I think it would be similar to what we find in most of our schools today. Our one-on-one computers start with grade 3, Laurel?
Yes, 1-to-1 is in grade 3.
Yeah, and then even in the kindergartens, we have the banks of iPads. But we've had the one-on-one program for, it seems like forever.
Yeah. Yes.
And those are iPads?
Yes.
But in high school, most of the time, it's going to be the,
Bring your own.
yeah, they bring their own. And of course, they like to bring the fancy, yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
But actually, the iPads is what really prompted us to apply for this grant and pursue iTEACH808. The Schools of the Future grant was only for 5 years, and it was it for $250,000, I believe. And so we didn't want the professional development to end there. So and iPads were just starting to get into schools, and it was becoming a really big thing. But we didn't have the professional development. Everybody in Hawaii was new to iPads. So we were trying to find ways, how do we get iPads off the ground? If we're going to invest all this money, how do we implement it appropriately and teach our teachers how to integrate it effectively and not just use it just because it's fancy and sparkly. So that was actually our first conference, was how to use iPads in creative and innovative ways to further and deepen learning. So it's always been about using technology as a tool, but never as a replacement for teachers. That's why it's called Empowering Hawaii's Teachers in Technology. So it was the iPads deployment program that prompted us to open up iTEACH808 and try to work with other schools to figure out what this iPad thing was going on back in 2012. And that has just continued to grow and expand, and it became more than just iPads after that. And then we started to see so many areas that how technology is growing and changing in our schools and how we can use it to better our students and our faculty.
I think it's always good to throw in a little history. And especially as far as private schools and professional development, probably the Schools of the Future grants that came out of the Hawaii Community Foundation had an amazing impact on how professional development was actually launched. So for instance, Linda at Sacred Hearts, the Hawaii Community Foundation picked 18 schools. Seabury Hall might have been one, but I'm not sure.
I think we started off and we didn't continue, I think.
Yeah, but
well, yeah, we didn't go all the way like you did.
little challenges.
Let's put it that way.
So it was a 5-year program, and our school, like all the others, they received about 100,000 each year. Beautiful, beautiful money, and that's what built our foundation. And a small margin of the money could be used for hardware or software, but most of it had to go into professional development. So I know our school's professional development, I think it got its foundation from Schools of the Future.
Exactly. That changed the whole culture of our school.
Yeah.
It really caused us to start looking deeper into technology and not see it as an add-on, but more as something that can really enhance learning for students. So with the Schools of the Future, I was able to go to the conference in Boston and see Alan November live. And from there, that really shaped my thinking about technology and education and how to integrate it properly. So, and bring that back to Hawaii. And from there, it's just been so exciting to see all the deeper learnings going on in all of our schools, and the returnees who come to iTEACH808 from year to year and sharing how much of an impact it makes. On our website, you can read some of the feedback that people have written, thanking them for this opportunity to get high quality professional development. What would normally cost like $200 at a regular conference, if their school doesn't have the funds at the time, they're able to go and they're able to grow deeper in their technology needs and everything. So I think that's been the best part, is it kind of opens up this learning not just to the schools that had the funds, but to all schools, and to really help all of our schools in Hawaii. So that's been the best part about it all.
Another thought that I have of the iTEACH, however, is now Laurel usually has a little formal part in the beginning, and that's going to be most of the time a keynote speaker, whether it be long distance or whether it be from across the street. But then the rest of the morning, it reminds me of going to some type of a fair. And now there's a diversity. Some of the presentations will be in classrooms in a rather formal sense. And then others, you might go to the student center and there might be 10 groups in there. And people just so relaxing, in a relaxing manner, they go from station to station, learning what they can learn.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's wonderful. You don't see people sitting in chairs at iTEACH808. You see
Yeah.
them walking around. You see them playing and tinkering. You see them with iPads or whatever device they brought, walking around campus, integrating and getting hands-on practice with the technology so that they can start it right away when they get back to school. And so we really try to keep the group small, and that really helps a lot and makes that difference. But yeah, lots of options too for all of our teachers as well.
But you're the major planner, right, Laurel? So do you decide, or do you have people helping you decide what's going to be on the agenda for the conference?
I go to a lot of conferences and I get inspiration from Schools of the Future, from the Google Summit, and from Hawaii Association of School Librarians help sessions. I go to as many conferences as I can, and I try to figure out what the trends are in education, as well as study them on Twitter. And then I look at the feedback that I got from the past conference and try to figure out what teachers want the most and what they need the most, whether it's they want more time of hands-on learning or they want more options of variety of sessions. So I think I'm constantly keeping an ear to the people and figure out what they really want to learn and what they really need more help with. So yeah, I get inspired from many different leaders in Hawaii and kind of bring it all together. And
Laurel has a good feel for the educators in the community, and she puts them together, and it's a very inspiring morning.
It's fun, yeah. I think that's
and
key.
I like what you're saying, because you have to study those educators, those presenters, with a rather serious tone as to whether they're going to fit into your conference or not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just wanting to say that this is one of the chief reasons that Laurel got the Making It IT happen.
Yeah.
That award, so well deserved.
Oh, thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate all of your support and encouragement and everything. I think I'm so blessed, though, to all the people in the community, like you, Michelle Cole, Mike Fricano, Shane Asselstein. I mean, just everybody who's really helped to make iTEACH808 what it is today. So I might be the face, but it's been a lot of people that have really helped make it what it is today and really encouraged us and helped us to make it grow. Yeah, but thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. And your mindset, of course, that's huge, right? That's what makes the difference as well. And admin, your mindset, your enthusiasm, all of those.
And just the way she expressed just how she reflected the attention from herself and put the light on other people is one reason why she's such a joy with whom to work.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of teachers that are very different, Laurel.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
On another question popped in my mind now. Laurel had mentioned that there were Catholic schools, kind of a system, in which you're part of. I would love to hear a little bit about that, how that works.
We have here on Oahu and a few on the neighbor islands, we have about 30 elementary schools. And some of the elementary schools do not have the resources that the high schools have. Now, Hawaii has 7 Catholic high schools, and 5 of them are on this island. What I like about iTEACH808 is that Laurel reaches out to the 30-some Catholic elementaries, many that do not have resources. That this is just a a very important conference that they come to every year.
Yeah.
So that's one of the blessings of it. And the Augustine Foundation, of course, they like it because she's also serving our Catholic schools. But she has room for everybody in the end.
Yeah. We open it up to Catholic schools first because half of the grant is from Augustine Educational Foundation. So about 65% of the participants are Catholic schools to help them if they don't have the funds for professional development. So it really helps open up their doors. A lot of them are just like they're starting out their one-to-one program. They need help on Google Apps for Education. So they come to our workshops and they get the help that they need, or they get directed or connected to these educators that will help them to further that program. So there's a lot of follow-up after the conference as well. All of our presenters are available to answer those questions for people. And so we create those networks and communities. So we always try to give participants also time to socialize, because how often do you get to have 42 schools in one place together? So I think that's one of the most beautiful things to see is when people recognize each other and getting to see our friends from other schools every year. It's like a big reunion every year, getting to see everybody. Yeah.
So I'm imagining now it's getting a little bit more complicated in my mind because you do follow-up, but then I'm guessing the day after the conference, you're thinking about next year. So, wow, that's a lot of meshing, yeah?
But I think the guiding principle that I try to use is the SAM-R model, right? How are we using technology? Are we using just to substitute something that we could do with paper and pencil, or are we going on a deeper level and actually changing how we teach through technology and transforming the opportunities that students have? So I constantly keep that in mind, that it's not just here's the latest and coolest, most expensive thing on the market right now. You need to buy virtual reality. But Mike Furcano introduced that you can do virtual reality for $10 in your classroom. And there are so many other ways that you can work around. So we're constantly looking for free resources, especially for schools that are strapped for funds, and how can they integrate technology in a meaningful way. So yeah, I know, trying to get ideas because next year will be our 10th conference. So that's a big number. Yeah.
Linda, I am assuming if Laurel is truthful, that she already has ideas though, of especially the keynoter for next year.
Well,
because that's the way her mind works.
I'm thinking she's super organized.
Oh,
So
yeah.
every time an idea comes up, she writes it down. She probably has it all, you know, spreadsheet and maybe color coded, possible, really possible, super possible, or you know, I imagine this is how she works. She doesn't have to share the secrets, but I'm guessing that that must be how it works for her.
It takes a year though to plan and get ideas. At least 6 to 8 months just to get the theme going for the next school year. So I'm on the lookout. I will be at the Schools of the Future conference and looking and seeing what the trends are and what teachers are most interested in. It's something that's applicable from preschool to college age as well. But currently, Google Apps for Education has been the most beneficial for all of the schools because it's free and it's easy to deploy and it works with all devices. But yeah, I'm constantly on the lookout though, and finding ways to make technology more meaningful and not just fancy equipment for our schools.
Well, it's a necessity, don't you think?
Yeah.
In our current age, I can't imagine teaching without it.
Exactly. It's changed everything.
Linda, do you come over for Schools of the Future?
I do.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing Laurel because I did get the Making IT happen a couple of years ago. So we always get a little picture together. So I definitely will see her. And any time there's a conference, I always touch bases with her.
Yeah.
So I'm very well acquainted with her goodness and power.
Yeah, always a joy seeing you at Schools of the Future.
Yes. Yeah, we actually have several people coming this year. I think maybe about 7. Usually we have no more than 2 or 3. So we'll have a little cadre.
Good. Great.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah. Is there anything else in particular you want to ask, or we can just...
Well, I know I wanted to show, I like to bounce around, so, and I have a little list here as well, but I wanted to show people, and maybe you can, as I show people, you can talk about your social media and how you promote iTEACH 808, for instance, this
Oh, yeah.
Facebook page. You want to talk a little bit about it? You said, I mentioned off air that it was your best way of promoting, perhaps?
Facebook is wonderful, I think, because it's free publicity, and a lot of educators use it. We have a contest every once in a while at our conference to use the hashtag iTEACH808, and the best social media post wins like a gift card. That helps to spread the word about our conference. And at the end of every iTEACH808, I always post a video kind of recapping what we learned at this past iTEACH808. So it's about, every conference has a 1-minute video to go with it.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and then we also take a selfie at every conference as well. So there it is, that's the selfie. We had, 100 educators, and it's just
There's Michael.
There's Michael.
There's Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, we also have our t-shirts too. That was Betty's idea to create t-shirts, and I think that really brought pride to the conference and helped to generate excitement for the conference as well. And even the name iTEACH808, it was inspired partly with the iPad, but then we added the 808 to make it more catchier. That was my dean, Mary Gerard, who helped me come up with the title for it. And I think having that name for it really helped it to spread and a lot more people to learn about it. But yeah, that's a fun part of our iTEACH808. We always get to do a selfie, which is helps to put a face to all the names. And so we really try to make each person at iTEACH808 feel like family when they come, and it's not just a big conference lecture. Yeah.
You know, Linda, I was saying it rather facetiously several minutes ago, but I think it's the time of year that Laurel stages this conference is very important, because the teachers are more rested than they're going to be in April, and then they're excited about the year.
Yeah.
So what they learn in September, they've got 9 months to practice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's another big part, constantly studying the participants and their feedback and trying to really make it as beneficial to them, the format of it. So we really try to listen to everybody. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Facebook page.
Yes.
Twitter.
Okay, hold on. Twitter. There we go. There's.
Yeah, those are all of the Sacred Hearts Academy teachers in the top photo, and we usually announce the new date for the next iTEACH808 on this page. So people who are interested in attending the next one should make sure to follow it. We'll also post it on our Facebook page as well. But I find iTEACH808 is the best way Twitter is the best way to connect with people outside of Hawaii, and to help build up those professional development networks. I think I like Twitter for ideas too as well for the next iTEACH808.
You get them from Twitter.
Yes, and then I follow a lot of principals on Twitter as well, and a lot of education technology companies and organizations, and that really helps to spread the word about iTEACH808. So Twitter is the best for professional development growth, and then Facebook is more personal and makes everybody feel like they're with their friends, I guess, on a Saturday and having fun. And, they can share it out with their family and friends. Yeah.
So did you say there are 125 that go?
Yes, yes, about 120 every year.
Okay.
Yes.
So it looks like that everyone, almost everyone gets a cardboard.
Yes, yeah. So that was
That's
the
nice.
giveaway for this year. So you can put your phone inside. You download like YouTube or a virtual reality app. You put your phone inside, you close it, and then you can look through. It was really exciting seeing everybody in the auditorium during Mike Furcano's keynote, looking around the room in different directions and lots of oohs and ahs. I think when you have teachers excited about something, it helps the kids get excited as well. So
That's
Linda,
awesome.
in some years, the quota of the number of teachers that Laurel can accommodate is filled in as short as 3 days.
yeah.
So that tells the popularity.
Yes.
of
Yeah. The number of seats available goes within 3 days.
Now,
So
this year it was the registration started in September. On September, September. Oh no, I'm sorry. September 9th was when it happened. So
yes.
when did registration start?
Well, we always open up to Catholic schools first. We give them 2 weeks time, so that way we fulfill the requirements for the Augustine Educational Foundation grant, which is mostly for Catholic schools. But Sacred Hearts Academy funds the other half, and so we also want to invite public schools and other private schools. So August 22nd is when we opened it up to the public, and then all the seats were gone by August 25th.
So you got to be on the lookout.
Yes,
For iTEACH808.
we give people heads up, like this will be open to the public on this date, so keep your eyes out and open. Yeah, we usually have about 50 people on the waiting list every year, but we try as much as possible to open it up to the Catholic schools first and foremost, and then give those opportunities to everybody else. But yeah, it goes pretty quickly.
So is the date already established for next year?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but it'll most likely be in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And then you also have a blog
Yes.
that has the handouts for all of the conferences.
This is my favorite part of everything that we've done. I think this is actually the most valuable part about iTEACH808 are the handouts that are archived from our very first iTEACH808. So if you go back and click on, let's say, any one of these, it will give you the
Ask the experts. That sounds really cool.
So all of those are hyperlinked. So if you want to see Amy Berval's presentation or her handout, you can click on that, and it will show you exactly what she gave and talked about at her presentation. So
nice.
if you missed something, or if you didn't get to go to one of the workshops that you really wanted to, here's her resources. Here are her resources. So it's been such an amazing thing getting to learn from so many different people from so many different fields. We don't only have tech coordinators, we have regular teachers presenting and sharing, and you would never guess like such amazing things are coming from so many different places, and not just the big schools, but very amazing findings from smaller schools as well, and it's being able to share it out with the rest of us. So yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Very
There's
neat.
Mike Furcano. Mike Furcano, I think, has presented at almost every single iTEACH808.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Was he there at the beginning?
Well, this one,
was. No. Oh, this was different. This was the iPad rollout, you said.
Yes.
Kind of.
That was open, and that was on Wednesdays. We did it for a whole month, every Wednesday, and not as many schools came in because of the time. It was on a Wednesday afternoon, So as soon as we opened it up on a Saturday morning, that's when more schools were available. And as the popularity grew, more and more principals told their tech coordinators or their teachers to go to iTEACH808. So it was interesting because like last year we had 35 different schools at the conference, and the year before it was like 25 different schools. But this past year we had 42 different schools in the state of Hawaii that came to the conference.
That is neat.
Yeah.
It didn't look like, oops, I lost it. Sorry, I'm gonna find it.
Well, iTEACH808.
Handouts. I got, as usual, I went down the rabbit hole. Yeah, and a lot of people are using this. Look, there's 21,000 there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that is quite amazing. So definitely an impact.
And the theme is different every year, from year to year. This past year was multiple intelligence. So wasn't talking about students who are more linguistic or more visual. It was talking about how can teachers diversify their curriculum to include different types of learning methods. So thinking of the brain as having different muscles in it, how can you engage the visual muscle or the kinesthetic muscle or the auditory or interpersonal, intrapersonal using technology. So that's why we had naturalistic, which was Debbie Milliken talking about STEM and gardening and STEM. And we had performing arts. Masaru Uchino, he was the winner of the Milken Award for the, which is given to only a handful of teachers in the whole country. So he was one of the presenters at our conference as well. And he talks about using performing arts, music, art, theater to engage students and integrating technology with that. So just a whole diversity of ways that technology can be used to engage all the senses of a child and get them excited about learning or help them to enhance their knowledge and studying skills and everything.
Yeah, so these resources are not all of them. There are others. I see Michael and you and Christina, but there were also other people who at the conference, correct?
Oh,
Lots of others, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's neat.
Linda, I would like to share a little scenario because we spent some time talking about schools like Sacred Hearts liking to reach out to other smaller Catholic elementary schools. So one of the neatest things was Laurel's conference was on a Saturday, and several of our Sacred Hearts teachers had attended the session with Debbie Milliken on sustainability from Ilani School. And it was talking about what type of garden is it, Laurel?
Oh,
the vertical gardens. And so on Monday, I was CC'd on an email from Debbie Milliken, and she says, Ilani School has 8 or 9 of those vertical gardens, and I want to volunteer to help Sacred Hearts set them up.
yeah.
And see, that came as a result of our teachers going to that conference. And what a interaction, what collaboration right within the school community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's been the most beautiful thing is the community.
Where they reach out to each other. Yeah.
So I'm just curious, how are you going to set it up? Is it a teacher that takes over in a class, or the kids, or how would that work, or have you thought about it yet?
We have is she second grade, Laurel?
Veronica first.
Veronica's first.
Yeah.
We have a gardener. We have a gardener, but I don't think she's ever done vertical gardens.
An adult, or you said she's in second grade? Second grade teacher?
Yeah,
Okay.
but she's a second grade farmer. and she is more or less the lead. Would you say, Laurel? And so today, they spent all afternoon working on that project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think,
wonderful.
yeah, I think by opening up the discussion to beyond just our school, I think that's what one of the main things we've learned with technology is you can't just have one person be the expert on technology or one school be the expert on technology. It's such an organic thing that's constantly changing that we need to have a larger community to work together, and so that we all can kind of learn and build each other up and get better at technology together as a school or as a larger community.
Well, it sounds like you have a culture of sharing. Not all schools have that. And so that is another component that makes Sacred Hearts and iTEACH 808 a success. Would you say?
You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly that's exactly what our grant was about.
Mm.
Yeah, creating a culture of sharing. So yeah, that I think it's just been amazing though to follow up with schools every year to year and how they share. Like I went to iTEACH 808 and I learned how to do Google Docs for the first time. You know, couldn't afford to go to like the $250 Google Summit, but I think it's these small little building blocks and then seeing where they take it off with it and they end up becoming presenters and they share that knowledge with all of us at the next iTEACH 808. That's been the most exciting thing. So yeah, it's really helped to bring our schools closer together rather than the competition aspect of it. So that's been a really
and also just as important, several days ago, I was in a conversation where one of the ladies was saying that a neighboring school was going to use Laurel's prototype of her iTEACH 808 and they were going to put on a conference in the spring, you know, sort of using Laurel's pattern. And that's the best compliment anybody can give you.
It really is.
Right? To have
Yeah.
that pattern and try to imitate it, especially for the first couple of tries.
Yeah, I think the more professional development than to offer for free. I mean, Sacred Hearts Academy, Sacred Hearts Academy puts out $3,500 of its own money, and then Augustine covers the other $3,500. But I think it's money very well spent in the long run that you're impacting such a large group of teachers and such a large community. Yeah, versus spending it just on 2 or 3 teachers and sending them off to the mainland, which is good too. But in this case, it's been great to see this grassroots movement really take off and help us to all work together as a community in Hawaii.
And we come back to that vision again, where everyone is working toward one thing.
Yeah.
One goal, exactly. And the financial commitment is important as well.
Yeah.
Well, and with good organization, you can launch a conference very easily for around $10,000 with an outreach that iTEACH 808 has. But it takes good physical management, good organization, right?
And a good IT staff with strong Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Right. I think we struggle with that. It's always not 100%. So
Laurel has everybody working on that Saturday.
yes. Well, also the organization again comes back to Laurel. So coordination, low key coordination is a good word, but
it's easier every year. So every year it's a little bit easier. But yeah, if anybody out there has ideas on what they would like to see for the next iTEACH 808, I am all ears. I'm excited to make the 10th one our best one yet and doing something special for that. But yeah, we're open to suggestions. We will be applying for the grant in April of 2018.
that's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, let me see what else I want to ask. Okay. So overall, what would you say you've learned over the last 4 years doing iTeach 808? I mean, we talked about it, but what in general would you say? You say, oh, we started with this, and then wait a second, now we're at this point. What kind of progress? Can you talk a little bit about that? About how far you came, maybe, or not so far, or were you all collaborating and learning new things at the beginning, and this was just a little step beyond, or was it a dramatic transformation? I know you touched a little bit on it, but I just wanted you to maybe include or summarize how this entire process, now that you're looking back 4 years.
Yeah.
Before Laurel gives a more profound answer, I would just add that when I see iTeach 808, it really shows us that teachers want to be better, and they want to take advantage of good opportunities that are going to enrich them in the classroom. And if you have good professional development, they're willing to give up a Saturday at the beach. They're willing to do their laundry on Sunday. And that is what makes teaching what it is, because it's teachers that continue to grow. So that's the way I see it.
That's beautiful. I think that perfectly captures everything. Yeah. For a planning aspect, I think that was actually the best answer. But from a planning perspective, I noticed that satisfaction goes up when you offer more choices. I think more flexibility in choices leads to teachers finding exactly what they need. And so you have such a diverse group of participants. You have Spanish teacher and you have an early childhood educator showing up to this one big conference about technology. So we try to, that's why we offer, I learned to offer as many workshops as possible so that somebody will come away with something from the conference that will meet their needs. And good food. We have a really nice cafeteria.
That's huge.
Yes.
One thing that I didn't, go ahead, you finish up and then I need to ask you something.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm done, but yeah.
Oh. No, I was just wondering, is this only for elementary?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Preschool, we have teachers that teach 3 years old all the way to
12.
College. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have Chaminade instructors, Manoa instructors at home as well. So it's a very nice blend of diversity. So we see the whole continuum of education professionals.
And you, Laurel, are for K through 6 librarian and IT, or is there someone else that's? You said Sacred Hearts goes to 12th grade.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is there another librarian for 7 through 12?
Yes.
Okay.
She specializes in design thinking, so I might pick her brain a little bit too and get some ideas from her. But I really love maker spaces. That's been such a fun thing for me. So we shall see. But we also have Alyssa Myers, who is our other tech person in high school as well. So yeah, but it's been really amazing. Just all the networks that I've been able to establish and introducing other people to other schools and everything. So yeah.
Linda, I would just also mention one other component of the attendees, and this is also very inspiring. We are very close to Chaminade University and close to the University of Hawaii, and it is it's just delightful to see the supervising teachers of what would you call it, student teachers? The ones, the young men and women who are becoming teachers, that they are bringing them to conferences like this, because when they go into the classroom, technology is going to be important.
Yes, we do get student teachers as well, and substitute teachers from all walks of life. So It's been amazing. I agree though, coming back to what Betty mentioned, just the fact that you have teachers giving up a Saturday to learn more and to deepen their understanding of technology speaks volume. And I think that's what's the most inspiring thing, is to just be surrounded by people who are thirsty for learning more so that they can better their students. So, yeah.
Well, you know, I wrote a note here, and I'm thinking to myself that you two are the dynamic duo.
She's the daughter.
You're the visionary, and she's the inspiring person that gets all of the goodies, the practical stuff.
No, you bet.
Yeah, yeah. Really inspiring to me, for sure. We're actually almost, we have 3 more minutes if we're going to stop at the hour. And I wanted to see if there was anything you wanted to conclude with that we didn't talk about, and that you want to make sure that our audience gets before we say aloha.
Well,
I would mention one thing that Laurel touched briefly on, and that would be if you're at an administrative or supervisory level, lots of times you might have opportunities to go to big conferences in Boston or on the mainland. But the nice thing about iTEACH808, the quality's good, and it just gives teachers an opportunity to get together, and those opportunities can be just as fruitful, just as inspiring as if they went to Boston or Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's the friendships that we create with the other schools that I think outlive all of the changes in technology. And I think that's what's been the best part, has been getting to see these teachers and getting to know them more every year. So yeah, I would like to finish with on our website, our blog, at the very end you can read just like 3 of the comments that people have left. I think that's my favorite part about the conference, is reading the feedback at the end and seeing how much it meant to each of these people that came to the conference, and how much gratitude they have for this kind of opportunity. And that to me really makes it all worthwhile. So the second to the last tab, it says reviews.
Hold your horses. Second to the last tab. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Linda, you've done a good job.
Oh yeah.
Of coordinating the screen.
Thank you.
I've had a little bit of practice. Actually, don't say anything now because it might jinx it, but today's the best I've ever done today. I'm surprised with myself.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean, there's like hundreds of really nice things that people have said. I just wanted to share. It says, your iTEACH808 workshops have truly helped shape the teacher that I am today. Your workshops are innovative, creative, and futuristic in content. I truly appreciate your sharing of knowledge with all of us. This is my 4th or 5th iTEACH808 conference, and they have all been fantastic. I come away energized and refreshed. Thank you, Sacred Hearts and Augustine Educational Foundation, for making these opportunities possible. Thank you so much for providing opportunities for all teachers to learn more from each other, whether it was as a participant or as a presenter. You are truly bringing together the education community in such a unique way. And finally, I am very appreciative of the support we are given with the generosity of Sacred Hearts Academy and Augustine Educational Foundation. Please know you are appreciated, and your work sets a foundation for so many students to thrive in our technological world. And I think that's our ultimate goal, is to help all of our students in Hawaii to reach their goals and to just get the best education possible.
That is awesome. And yes, I think those testimonials are definitely rewards for you, yeah? Heartwarming, and keeps you making a difference when people give you that kind of feedback.
You bet.
All righty. Okay, well, thank you so much, ladies, for coming on. Very privileged to listen to you and to learn from you, and very inspiring. And again, thank you for coming on. And we shall see you when we see you, which is the Schools of the Conference, Schools of the Future Conference with Laurel. And maybe Betty, are you going to be there as well?
I'll be there.
Okay, I'll see you in
look you
person
up.
as well. Okay, we'll talk. Alrighty, so everyone, aloha for now, and thank you for joining in Google Rocks Hawaii number 91, iTEACH 808, and our dynamic duo, Betty White and Laurel Oshiro, and we are signing off.
Aloha.
Aloha.